Alrighty, good evening and welcome everyone. Thank you so much for joining us for our Scoir in Orange County Public Schools session. We're so grateful to have your time and attention tonight. My name is Megan Hoyer. I am a Regional Account Executive here at Scoir. As far as what we'll be covering tonight, do want to give another introduction into the Scoir network and really talk about why we do what we do here at Scoir and how we're really trying to have a true impact on students' lives. We will spend some time going over the Scoir student experience so you can see everything that you can do as a student or your students can do on Scoir. And then we will jump over into the Scoir parent guardian experience as well to show you how you can really assist your students through their college search, discovery, and application process. Just some housekeeping items. So we cannot see or hear you, but there is a chat section at the bottom of your bar. So please feel free to go in and chat in any questions as we go along this evening. We do have Lauren Andrus from our customer success team who works with your schools moderating the chat. And we will also leave time at the end for open Q&A. We are planning for about 30 minutes of content, and then again, probably about 10 to 20 minutes of an open Q&A at the end. So before we dive into the demonstration portion this evening, again, I do want to set the stage on Scoir's mission, as it really does set the stage for why we do what we do here at Scoir and the real impact that we are striving to have on your students' lives. So at Scoir, we've set out to create a network of everyone involved in the college search and application process, really bringing together students, families, high schools and counselors, access advisors, as well as the colleges onto one network. And we're doing this in order to simplify and bring more transparency and collaboration into the college search and application process. And our overarching mission at Scoir is really meant to help expand college access for all students and help improve those collegiate outcomes. Scoir is connecting prospective students with resources and people that support college discovery, personal connection, and ultimately application success. So with that said, let's go ahead and get started and show you Scoir in action. As mentioned, I'm going to be heading over into the Scoir student experience to show you all the wonderful tools and features that your students can take advantage of. So I am logged in as Linda Atkins, who is a senior at my demo high school, Hoyer High. The first thing that Linda sees when she logs in is her dashboard here, where she can go off and discover colleges. She'll also be able to keep track of all application tasks, deadlines, reminders, and even college visits that are scheduled directly through the Scoir platform by my students' high school. Of course, one big piece of Scoir is college discovery and really helping students to be discovered, but also discover colleges that will be a really great fit for them. Your students will be able to go off and search for any 2 or 4-year university in the US, including community colleges, as well as some international colleges as well. But one great way students can begin their college discovery is through what we call My Matches. My Matches is a preference-based picker where students can begin entering their preferences starting even early on in their high school career. So Scoir has a really robust set of tools and functionality for all students in grades 9 through 12. So here I can start entering my preferences as I go through my college career, whether it is maybe an academic focus or a specific major. I can also enter my undergraduate degree preference, whether it's 2 or 4-year university. as well as enter my personal interests and activities. And this is very unique to Score and where we're really building this in a very student-centric way, where it is really designed to help students find their best fit. So here they can enter in academic clubs, programs, any socio-cultural interests they may have, sports and expertise, leisure, really any active club, program, or interest. We've gone ahead and tagged these at these colleges to make them searchable for students where they can incorporate this directly into that college search. So you can see here my student is interested in study abroad, filmmaking, choreography. Distance and location, students can enter a starting home address and determine how close or how far they'd like to go from home. Or they can simply enter a state. So maybe the student wants to say in-state. They can also filter by test scores and acceptance rates. Campus setting, school type, whether that is a religious affiliation or an HBCU. Size of the school, athletics. We do have all intercollegiate sports tagged by division, as well as ROTC programs. Now, the more preferences that your students add, the narrower their list of My Matches is going to return. But again, students can always adjust and edit these preferences as they go along in their high school career and their interests change. Once entered, students are going to be presented with the My Matches. Now let's go off and explore what a college detail page looks like on Scoir. So looking at the University of Miami here, at Scoir, we do have an integration with UVisit where students can hear or get a really immersive virtual tour of the campus. Students will also get insights and notifications around available college sessions for colleges that they are interested in. So here you can see that I can experience the campus virtually or maybe speak with an alumni. A lot of these are more virtual events, but really great for students to be able to get notifications about these and sign up for those events directly through Scoir. Now, these college overview pages will look the same from the parent, guardian, as well as the student perspective. And it's really meant to help address three main questions for students. Can I get in? Will I fit in? And can I afford it? So here we'll have all of the relevant details outlined for the colleges. Now, this is one of Scoir's more dynamic college detail pages, where we also link out to relevant YouTube videos. I also want to mention that everything that your students can do on the web version of Scoir, we also have a full functioning student mobile app. This is really meant to help meet students where they're at, keep lines of communication open, and they'll also be able to scroll through all of this information and even receive notifications directly to their mobile phone. We will outline the admissions information, such as average SAT, ACT scores, acceptance rates, along with all of the application requirements, deadlines, even down to the application fees for the respective colleges. If your student is a first generation student, we would encourage them to update that within their profile, because as they are going through and exploring these more dynamic pages on Scoir, we'll actually link out directly to first generation support services for colleges. So it's a very personalized search experience on Scoir where the more data that your students are entering into their preferences or their profile, the more customized their search experience is going to be. To help students address that second question, will I fit in? We do have the student life information where we have an integration with Campus Real. Here, students can hear from real students on these campuses about dorm life or cafeteria. They can also see the size of the school, the retention rate, diversity information. If you remember back to my student's preferences under her Discover page, she indicated that she was interested in study abroad. So back to that personalization piece, this will link out directly to the University of Miami's study abroad page that they can go off and explore. We'll also outline the popular majors at each school along with the fields of study that are offered. Again, back to the personalization piece, under my academics and programs, since Linda indicated that she was interested in science as an academic focus, these science content cards are going to be pulled to the forefront for the student to begin exploring. Lastly, addressing that last question is, can I afford it? So on the student side, we will outline this cost and financial aid information such as average in and out of state tuition, average net price. Students can also look at net price by income and see the average student debt upon graduation or percentage of students that receive federal loans or financial aid. We'll also outline location and local transportation as well. Moving over to my college wall. This is where we've created these cards for every club, program, athletics at the University of Miami so students can explore these in a really engaging social media-esque way. Students can also click into these tags to see other schools that offer study abroad programs that they may never have heard of before, or may not have been on their radar. So at Scoir, we are really trying to encourage your students to take that extra step and do that exploration and discovery through Scoir, because they can really open up that window of opportunity and find new schools that may be a really great fit for them. As your students are exploring these schools on Scoir, they can go ahead and follow them and add them to their My Colleges list. Students, it will be very important to start adding schools to your My Colleges list for a couple of reasons. So you can keep track of those schools that you are following and like, those where you're planning to apply and actually have applied as you come into your senior year, ultimately where you are enrolling, but also so your parents, guardians, as well as your counselor have insights into your college list so they can best make suggestions to you. So both parents, guardians, as well as counselors can suggest colleges to students, and you can either choose to follow them or mark them as not interested or go off and explore those pages we just saw earlier. We also have this newly released top choices feature where you can indicate your top choices. And as you do progress into your senior year, this is where you'll be really moving these cards over to the respective columns to tell your counselor exactly where you have applied, along with the type and method in which you have applied. That's going to indicate to your counselor what application materials need to be sent forward on your behalf. Another important piece of adding colleges to this My Colleges list is the ability for colleges to then reach out to you if they are on your list, meaning that you've indicated that interest on Scoir. So to show you an example of this message, going to pop over here. For example, when Linda began following the University of Miami on Scoir and added it to her My Colleges list, she received this really personalized message. Thank you for your interest, some financial aid information. And the students can then click this to sign up and get more information or reminders on things like important dates or deadlines, upcoming webinars or special events. Now, this is important to note about Scoir's college messaging is that we do take student privacy extremely seriously here at Scoir. We are never going to be selling to colleges student names, email addresses, or profile information. Rather, colleges can put together these high-level segmented messages based on actions that students are taking within the Scoir platform, but they're always going to be depersonalized. So these colleges, again, will never have the actual students' name or email address. That is up to the student if they want to go ahead and take that call to action, for example, in this message and sign up to learn more. Completely up to them, but we are leaving that absolutely up to the student to have full control over sharing that personally identifiable information. The messaging is a really unique feature of Scoir, though, and a really great way where students as well as families can receive really targeted messages based on things that they're actually interested in. So just another great way where we're enabling that personal connection on the Scoir network. Moving over to the student's profile, here they can keep track of all of their personal details. This is also where your students will be able to invite you as a parent or guardian to Scoir by entering in your name, email address, and going ahead and clicking invite. It is important to note that your students will need to be registered with Scoir at their high school prior to being able to invite you to Scoir. Here we will house the students' personal details such as things like GPA, test scores, so they can have all of this information all in one place. Regardless of your students' post-secondary plans, and if they are really pursuing a 2 or 4-year education, or maybe choosing a different path such as a trade school or technical school, vocation, etc., there's still a lot of features that students can take advantage of within the Scoir platform. For example, students can enter a personal bio or statement about themselves, as well as build up their list of activities and achievements as they go through their high school career. So everything from logging work experience, athletics, community service. They can write descriptions about all of this information, save this as they go throughout their high school career, and we actually allow them to export this directly into a resume template here. This can be a really nice starting place for your students, helps with that blank page syndrome, but they can jazz this up and customize this however they see fit. Also within my student's profile, again, I can edit my preferences along the way. And I'm also going to have access to a career and aptitude-based assessment called U-Science. At Scoir, we have a wonderful partnership and full integration with U-Science. And again, it's aptitude and career-based inventories in the form of game playing for your students. It's really great where they can go off and actually explore careers, learn about a day in the life of those careers, core tasks, see how those careers actually align with their aptitudes as well as their interests. And they can actually save those careers so you as a parent guardian and their counselors can all have access and insight into their intended pathways. Your students will also be able to incorporate these best fit majors related to these saved careers directly back into that college search. Students also have access to a My Drive, which is similar to a Google Drive where they can store everything from a resume, college essays, a highlight tape, as well as your counselors can also share resources this way with students. So that is the Scoir student experience. I'm now going to go ahead and pop over into the parent guardian platform. In addition to a full mobile app for students, we also have a full mobile app for parents and guardians as well. So I am now logged in as a parent guardian. I can toggle between the different students that I may have within the district or at different schools. As a parent guardian, I can go off and actually do my own college search using either a preference-based search, similar to what we saw on the student experience, where I'm entering preferences I believe are relevant to my student. And I can also do a more advanced search as well. Clicking into these, I can see that same information that I saw on the student experience in terms of the college information. I can even go off as a parent guardian and take virtual tours of campuses as well. And a couple different ways where I can do this, but I can actually suggest schools to my student as well, which is going to be a really important piece to really help guide your students along. We also have a really wonderful college comparison tool that's built in. Here, you and students can get a nice side-by-side overview of all of those college details we saw on those overview pages, such as admissions information, student life and retention rates, comparing the popular majors that are offered at the various schools, as well as that important cost and financial aid piece, and even location. So this will save you a lot of time from going website to website to compare this information. I'll also, as a parent guardian, have access into my student's profile where I can see insights into their personal details, their academic overview so I can keep track of their GPA, standardized test scores. I can see that resume information my student has entered as they go along in their high school career. I can also have insight into my students' college preferences, so I can again better make those suggestions and even go off and see their matches that we saw earlier. I'll also, as a parent guardian, have insight into the student's career profile and those saved careers and related majors, as well as the My Drive. So if I would like to share something with my student or with even my student's counselor, I can actually do that directly through the My Drive as well. More importantly, if I am maybe a junior or senior parent guardian, I'll also have insights into the student's My Colleges list, where again, I can go off and make suggestions to my student, see what schools the student is following, where they are planning to apply, where they've actually gone ahead and applied. And I'll also have various insights into this. So clicking into the University of Miami here, I can see if my student has been accepted. I can also have insights to my students' My College checklists. So these populate for all schools on Scoir once a school is in the applying or applied state. So your students can check these boxes off as they go along in their various applications. And you as a parent guardian can see how they're progressing along with their different applications. You'll also be able to look to Scoir now to see when those application materials were actually sent off for your students. So you can see here what documents were delivered to the college and when. So you as a parent guardian can also really use Scoir to keep track of all of those applications for your student. If a student has a school on this My Colleges list, you can also receive outreach messages. So as my student was receiving those, personalized and segmented messages from the University of Miami via her Scoir account, I can also receive information from the University of Miami. As you can see here, more geared towards families, where it's asking me if I want to sign up for a financial aid session, and I can click to do so here. You also have the ability to directly message with your students through the Scoir app, as well as message with your students' counselors or CAP advisors as well. Lastly, on the Scoir dashboard here under my parent guardian account, we have these cost calculators built into Scoir, as we do realize that the cost of attendance is not usually what it seems, and we don't want that scary sticker price to really keep you from making a suggestion to your student. So here with these cost calculators, we have a few different options. We have the ability to search by the average net price or see those when you're completing a college search. You can choose from one of the 5 brackets of the Department of Ed to better estimate that income-based net price. Maybe you'd like to manually enter a custom price estimate. Or here we have a custom price estimate calculator built in, where you can enter some family-specific information and household information to get a custom expected family contribution calculation. And as you can see here, as I'm going off and I'm then exploring these colleges, I'm not going to see only that scary list price, but I'll also see that custom price estimate as well. So again, I can go off and suggest this school to my student if I believe it'll be a good fit for them and it will be affordable. Before we dive into the Q&A, I do just want to mention that if your students have not yet registered for Scoir, I would certainly encourage you to go ahead and ask them to do so. Because again, once they're registered, they can actually invite you to Scoir directly through their profile. So you can really begin taking advantage of all that Scoir has to offer. Your students should be able to access and register for Scoir through their Launchpad. And if they're having any trouble, they can absolutely reach out to their counselor, but they should be able to just single sign on through that Launchpad, clicking the Scoir tile, and they should be all good to go. So with that said, I am going to stop sharing my screen. I can go ahead and take a look at the Q&A here. Okay, so a lot of good questions coming in, and I just want to thank our customer success team for helping moderate as we went through this evening. Yeah, so we did get a question if we could show again how to get the side-by-side comparison of college info. Absolutely. So let me go ahead and pull that back up for you. So here under, I am logged in now as a parent guardian again. So if I go over into my college search tab here, you will see a compare button, either when you're doing the preference or even the advanced search. So here you can actually select directly up to 4 colleges. If I were to click this here and compare up to 4 colleges side by side, once you have already done one college comparison, you are able to edit this. So if I removed Cornell University, I could go off and view this college comparison with just those 3 colleges. And then I can actually add a college here simply by just typing in the college name. And you can always edit this college comparison as well. All right. Will there be yes, so we will be providing, if anyone was a little late this evening, we will absolutely be sharing forward a recording with our contacts at OCPS. So they will have those available, and I'm sure would be happy to share those out with you. The college comparison should be able to be saved. You might see, similar to what I was just on, like 4 bubbles that appear on the right-hand side when you are logged into the platform. So you can go ahead and just click on that. It's going to pull up that college comparison screen. And again, you can add to that, or remove, add new colleges as you see fit. You can, Rita, the question was, can you search based on SAT score only? Yes. So you can just enter, specific preferences or filters. If I just want to look by ACT, SAT score or certain ranges, you can do so. You don't have to add, preferences within each category by any means. Again, the less preferences you have, the more, matches or results you're going to see. And the more preferences you start to answer, that the narrower that list is going to get. Another great question. So, are you able to see or search by colleges that do not have an SAT or ACT requirement? Yeah, so we do have within the advanced search feature in both the student as well as the parent guardian platform, you are able to search by test optional colleges. Just a reminder, I am seeing some great questions about, when can we get started? How do we get lined in? So I would ask you to please not sign up through Scoir's website, as we do want to make sure that you are linked to your appropriate high school and student or students. So certainly encourage your student, if they are registered, to just go ahead and invite you from your profile. Okay, and I think Lauren is doing a great job at answering those questions on the chat, so thank you. I did see one question that I don't believe was answered. So, how does Scoir know the status of the applications? Does the student apply to different colleges through Scoir? Really great question. So, Scoir is currently not an application platform. So, students cannot apply directly through the Scoir platform. We are application agnostic, meaning it doesn't matter how your students are applying, whether that's through maybe Common App, Coalition, the college website. They can still, it's just important those applications are still going to go off via those methods. The most important piece is that your students then log into Scoir or pull up their Scoir mobile app and mark those schools as applied on their My Colleges list. So that is the most important piece, because that's what lets the counselor and counseling team know what application materials need to be sent forward for your students to satisfy those applications. So Brian, I did see your question about the virtual school. So I actually am working with the district to get OCPS virtual school on board with Scoir as well. So currently there is not an account, but hoping to really get that in place shortly after the new year. Another great question. So my daughter is in 11th grade. Can she start searching colleges and adding her information in Scoir? Absolutely. So again, Scoir is really geared for all 9th through 12th graders. If you have, we would certainly encourage your junior students absolutely to take advantage of the college search discovery, building up those colleges lists, the resume builder. But again, there are tools within Scoir that can be used across the 9th through 12th grades. So in case anyone missed it, we did have a question on how my student should register in Scoir. So there will, on their launchpad within their district dashboard, they should have a Scoir tile. Now they can just click on that. If they've registered in the past, it will just single sign on. They'll be right into Scoir. If they have not yet registered, they're just going to be prompted to enter a password, and then they're in. So Brian, in terms of Orange County virtual school, so we will be in touch, with the school counseling team once the account is actually set up. So be on the lookout for some kind of announcement coming that's mentioning Scoir, and then at that point your students would be invited or can access that through their launchpad, and then go ahead and invite you as well. Okay. And some more questions about logging into Score. Should she use or should students use their school email? So um, I would encourage them to go through the launch pad and click on the Score tile, because that will actually single sign on them through Score. And it is linked though to their OCPS email address. So any kind of notifications, communications coming from Score, emails from their counselor that are sent through Score will go to that OCPS email address. Eileen had a question, is this available for charter schools? So we would absolutely love to, bring all OCPS charter schools onto Score. I don't know off the top of my head if any and all are using it currently, but I'd encourage you to ask your school, whether it's a high school principal or counselor, if Score is being used at their school, and then we can, get them set up. All right. And yes, a replay of this evening session will be sent out to our contacts at the district level. So I assume that that would be shared forward. All right. So I think that we were able to get to all of the questions. Again, I really want to thank you all so much for your time this evening. I hope it was an informative session and you were able to see really all the powerful tools that SCORE can provide to your students to help them along in their post-secondary journey, as well as, assisting you through this time as well. All right. Well, thank you all so much again for your time, and I hope you have a wonderful upcoming holiday season. And we hope you start loving Score. And thank you all for your kind feedback. We really appreciate it. I'm glad you enjoyed the presentation. And I hope you have a wonderful and safe holiday season.